So I've been trying to learn how to fix shit around the house. That's what's filling up all this time of just being sober. That's brutal, dude. You have no idea how long a year is until you're stone sober. Oh, it's fucking brutal. So I'm learning how to fix shit, right? My girlfriend doesn't like it because she says I have a temper. You know? She's like, it's just not that you're trying to fix things. It's that you get frustrated, you punch the wall, the dog starts shaking. I just don't think it's a good idea. You're a comedian. You should tell jokes. He's a plumber. He should plumb, right? I'm trying to explain to her that losing your shit is part of the process of fixing something, right? Everybody does that. You buy, right? Yeah. You buy something at IKEA, you get halfway through putting it together, you're like, dude, where the fuck is the fucking... Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Well, honey, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Why? You want to put it together? Well, they do put it together. You put together this fucking particle board piece of fucking shit. Its instructions make no sense. I will buy another one. I will buy another one. I'll buy fucking 5 and smash 4 if I want to. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, go to your mother's. I don't give a shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what story are you going to tell? This one, right? Not the part about how I pay all the fucking bills, right? How was that uncalled for? How was that uncalled for? I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to the fucking thing. I was talking to the fucking thing. I know what I said. I know what I said, okay? You don't need to tell me. I know what I said, yes. I am working on it. I am working on it, all right? Look, you think I want to be this guy? You think I want to be the guy who flips out about the fucking tables? I don't, okay? This isn't who I am. This is who I became, all right? I'm working through this shit. You didn't have to speak. Well, you do shit too, okay? You do shit too. Well, I thought you were going to your mother's.
I'm becoming, I really think I'm becoming a curmudgeon more and more each day. For those of you that have listened to this podcast for the past, how long has it been? 214, 15, I don't know. You've listened to me say over and over again that, I'm gonna get away from fucking Twitter and just social media in general because it puts me in a foul fucking mood. And I'm noticing, well, like I'm on it, right? I'm on Twitter. I'm not gonna start the fucking podcast off by bullshitting you and pretending like, oh yeah, I stay off of it. I'm on it all the time. I don't comment as much. Why do I sound all fucking nasally? I don't get into the sort of back and forth exchanges with people as much anymore. I think that I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've been shadow banned on there, but then I remember, who the fuck am I? They don't give a fuck about my opinion. So, like they're really going to care about what I have to say to my fucking, 73 or 74 fucking followers on there. It's all ego, right? But that anger and that fucking that curmudgeonness of me, it's transferring. Well, okay, I'm gonna be realistic. I've always been sort of a fucking grouch. I'm a huge fucking cunt at every fucking step, right? Whether I'm in traffic or standing in line at the store behind somebody that fucking, decided that they're gonna buy I don't know. Or not that they're gonna buy, but they use like fucking 10,000 coupons and shit. Or the fucking what drives me at the walls is the cashier that instead of just counting all of the fucking cans of cat food, I guess, if you wanna to use an example, right? Like, so let's say somebody comes to the counter there, and they got like, I don't know, 27 fucking cans of cat food. They're all the same kind of fucking cat food, so they all have the same fucking price, right? But then you'll have this fucking cashier that will ring up every single fucking one instead of just like counting, okay, you got fucking 27 cans of cat food times fucking whatever the price is, enter that shit in and keep it fucking moving. It's just like little things like that that drive me up the fucking wall. And I know that my the dog. I can you guys hear the fucking dog yapping in the background? My neighbors across the street. I don't know if they're fucking opening up a goddamn fucking kennel. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. They had one dog, or actually they had two dogs. One was this cute little fucking pit bull that he's brown and they called him Beans. And they had another one. It's like old fucking grouchy little fucking rat dog. I don't know what it was. I can't even remember what his name is or was. I'm not even sure if he's still alive. I haven't seen him. But he was kind of a grouch. But he wouldn't know. He would only bark. If you got too close to the fence. Beans, on the other hand, he's just a little fucking love bug, and he really likes my dog. Like every time I take him for a walk, I cross the street so that they can that they can fucking sniff each other and go nuts. But I don't know, like a few fucking months ago, like suddenly there was like more people moving into that house. I'm not sure if they own the house or if they rent it. I'm not going to sound like some sort of fucking elitist cunt over here, but it always sucks when you have somebody on the block. When you own your home, it sucks to have people that are renting, because usually renters, well, not usually, I don't want to throw everybody under the fucking bus here, alright? There are some renters that just don't seem to give a fuck. They don't care how their fucking yard looks. They don't care about making fucking noise at weird times of the fucking night. Although they're pretty good about it. They're not noisy at all, but they just have all these fucking dogs. All of a sudden, it went from 2 dogs to there's like 6 of them over there. And every single one of them, with the exception of the pit bull, is one of those little fucking yappy ass goddamn dogs, and it drives me up the fucking wall. Although the names that they come up with, some of these, like I know one of you got Beans. There's one little white little fucking poodle looking thing that they call Sushi. I think there's a Dexter. I think I heard them say. They got all these, these fucking these funny names. Oh God, is anybody fucking finding this enjoyable at all? Is this interesting at all to you? To sit here and listening to me describe my fucking neighbor's dogs. Okay, I'm gonna move on. But yeah, I'm becoming a bit of a fucking curmudgeon. The perfect example of that was last. I would say, was it Saturday or was it Sunday? I think it was last Saturday. I was at my son's baseball game. They are currently in the playoffs for Little League. They're playing a team that, since fucking opening day, because we faced these fucking twats during our first game. And the kids are great, the players are great. I don't have any problem with the team, with the other team's players, but their fucking coaches are these. They're so fucking annoying. Like any time that we would pull ahead, and we've played these guys several times throughout the fucking season. Anytime we'd start to pull ahead, suddenly the coach needs to have a fucking meeting with the umpires, and just completely disrupting the flow of the fucking of the game. There's been several times where they've tried to get our pitcher out, because they do have a pitching limit for Little League. Where I guess a kid can only throw, like, I think it's like 39 or 40 times before they have to be pulled so that their arm doesn't get doesn't get damaged, which is understandable. I mean, obviously you want to protect the kid's arms. I mean, a kid is not gonna, unless he's really fucking hurt, a kid is just gonna keep going, right? But there's been several times where they've tried to have our pitcher pulled, even though he hadn't reached the pitching limit, because of some fucking bullshit. They're just notorious for this, and it also doesn't help that that the president of our little our little league fucking version over here. I almost said where it is, but I'm not gonna let you know, or I'm not gonna let you cunts know where I fucking live. It just so happens, right? Because I heard this fucking story during when we had like right before the season started, that this team, the Red Sox, which is odd because it's hard to root against the Red Sox, being I'm from Boston, but it's not like it's not like they're actually from fucking Boston. But I was told that that they were given sort of special treatment when it comes to recruiting players or scouting players or whatever, that they usually get the first picks, no matter how their fucking team did the prior season. For some reason that they're given leeway, and I was just like, that's kind of fucked up, and I didn't really understand why until I saw that that the president, president of the fucking Little League, he has a son on the Red Sox, right? And it just so happens that the Red Sox, this little fucking team is basically like, it's like, imagine the Warriors, the basketball team, the Warriors, if they played baseball, right? Because, I mean, the Warriors have a total fucking pile-on team where they basically got like 5 fucking superstars on the court, all at once, right? So the Red Sox, in our little league are pretty much like that. They're just a fucking pile-on team of these, really fucking great players, right? And it just so happens that the president's son is also on the fucking team. And I was like, okay, that's a little fishy. But then we were looking at the majors, right? Because my son plays in the minors, and it just so happens that like the number 1 team in the majors, which is I think it's, what the fuck is it? Is it the White Sox? I don't know. One of the fucking teams, right? The number 1 team has his son, and guess what? Or his older son is on there, and the entire fucking team is like, a bunch of fucking superstars. So I'm like, all right, so there's definitely some fuckery going on here, right? But so every time we face this team, like I said, they, the coaches are just, they fucking whine about shit. They try and disrupt the flow of the game all the fucking time. Their players play fucking dirty. There's been several occasions where, one of their players is coming, he's coming off a third, coming home, and he's like fucking plowed into our catcher. Now, if this were the MLB, be like, all right, these are grown men, that I guess that's okay. But these are fucking little kids, and I've heard one of their coaches to be like, okay, if you're coming in and you think you're gonna get tagged, fucking, like put your fucking shoulder into it, right? So he's definitely telling them, do whatever it fucking takes to win, right? So I cannot fucking stand these people. Right, and it just so happens that we ended up having to play these guys. This is a long way to go, to get to the fucking point where I was, I don't know, being a fucking cunt. So last Saturday, we're facing them during a playoff game, right? So I'm already in a bad fucking mood because I already know how this game is gonna go. Right, several times, well, actually almost every single time except for the first time that we have faced them, we've lost to them, And it's not because they outplayed us, it's because their fucking coaches have whined about some shit, or they've done everything they possibly can to what do you call it, to fucking disrupt the flow of the game. There was this one game where they were fucking well ahead, right? We were like, I think they had like 9, it was like 9 to fucking 1, right? And in Little League, you only go 6 innings, right? Sometimes you go 5. It really depends on how long the game is, right? They usually, it's either 2 hours or it's fucking 6 innings, whichever comes first, right? And so it was 9 to 1. It's fucking bottom of the 6th, and they're up, right? There's no fucking, I mean, the game's basically fucking over, right? Our coach is like thinking like, okay, let's wrap this up. There's no point going forward. Their coach insists that we stay out there, right? And it goes from 9 to 1 to like 13 to 1. And it's just like, well, what the fuck was that about? You just wanted to, make the kids feel like shit. Like, well, what the fuck was the point of that? It was just, they're just overall fucking annoying fucking cunts, right? So we're facing them. I know I keep fucking bouncing back and forth. Bear with me. I know this story is getting very fucking long. So we're facing them last Saturday. And, of course, they're pulling the same old shit, disrupting the flow of the game, constant fucking stopping it and all of that shit, right? For the longest time, we were tied 2-2. And during the last, is the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th, and we were up, right? And, or no, were we up? No, I'm sorry. It was, at this point we were up 3-2. We were winning, and it was bottom of the 6th, right? So this was like their last fucking chance to do something, right? And our pitcher was, he was on fire, fucking just strikeouts, right? He gets to, I think they got 2 outs. There's one, they got one more at bat. They, of course, ask for a fucking timeout, and they, of course, ask for our pitcher to be pulled, right? Thinking that, okay, if we pull him, because we don't really have strong pitchers other than this kid. So, you can already see like what they're fucking trying to do, right? They're trying to, take our best pitcher out of the fucking game, and hopefully we can, put in somebody that will give them some hits, and then they can fucking come, they can come back. And it's an understandable move, but it's kind of a fucking cunt move, nonetheless, right? So they do that. Our best pitcher gets pulled, right? So naturally I'm fucking livid, because I'm like, all right, so you're just gonna fucking try and whine your way again to a fucking victory, right? And I'm getting loud and I'm getting rowdy or whatever. One of the umpires is, even like fucking like stopped and was like, dude, cut it out or whatever, right? So I don't know, I was taking it way too fucking serious. And so we get our other pitcher up there, and he strikes out the last batter, so we win the fucking game, right? And because I'm such a fucking cunt, because I've watched, game after fucking game this entire season, watching them fucking wind their way into victories, and the fact that, they took that one opportunity to to fucking basically just make our team feel even fucking worse. I found, for me, this was fucking vindication, because it means that we just eliminated them, right? So I'm fucking celebrating louder than I ever could, right? Over a fucking Little League game that means fucking nothing. Yeah, it's the playoffs, but in the grand scheme of things, it means fucking absolutely nothing. And so I'm just, I'm fucking, I'm egging them on. I'm fucking, I'm being obnoxious, right? And it got to the point where I even fucking yelled out like, I guess whining didn't fucking get you a win this time. Too bad. I'm just being a total fucking cunt, right? And loving it. And then, then fucking game's over and we're waiting for the kids to come out of the fucking cage and all of that shit, right? And as I'm waiting for my son, the other teams, the other kids on the other team are coming out, and a lot of them are fucking crying, and they're super upset. And I felt like, a huge fucking just jackass, right? And I'm like, okay, yes, they're upset because their fucking season is over, but I'm like, at the same time, like, man, did I cause that? Was all my fucking hooting and hollering and talking shit, was, like, did I play a role in that? And it was just at that point I was like, you know what? I got to get the fuck off of social media, because this is where it's coming from, right? Because before social media, I was always, very cunty, but I was usually more reserved, I was never afraid to fucking talk shit. I'm not one of these, one of those fucking, what do you call them? The keyboard fucking, heroes or fucking thugs or whatever, like, even in person, I've always been very, unafraid to speak my mind. But there's plenty of times where it's like, okay, like, you kind of run your own little filter through, before you fucking say shit. And before fucking social media, before Twitter, I used to have like a pretty good filter, to the point where I wouldn't fucking say inappropriate shit around children. I wouldn't make a point to make children feel like shit. And here I was doing that exact same thing, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get the fuck off of there. It's tainting my fucking my personality, or not really tainting it, because it was always fucking there. It's sort of amplifying the very negative parts of my fucking personality. And and I don't know, I was fucking, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so at this point, like, why, because social media is pretty fucking absurd as it is, right? It's just, it's basically, it's given people that really, like, nobody really should fucking have access to their innermost thoughts. It's given people to basically, it's handed them a microphone and said, here, go say whatever fucking ignorant, hurtful, mean, whatever fucking thing that you can possibly think of, tell it to the world, right? So, social media in itself is fucking absurd, right? And it's absurd watching people absolutely lose their fucking shit with one another, to the point where, like, people are not even trying to have a back and forth conversation. It's basically who can be a bigger cunt to the other, right? And it's all in the name of fucking getting likes and retweets and people being like, bravo, and all that other fucking horse shit, right? But then I was like, okay, so for the longest time I was saying, like, part of the reason that I have, Twitter and all of these things is because, like, I like to stay relatively informed about what's going on, especially, the mood and perspective and politics. And, so for a long time I've convinced myself that, like, okay, I as much as I hate the fucking, what social media has become, I kind of felt like, okay, so, you kind of need to be able to, have access to things in order to make an informed decision, especially when it comes to voting, right? And I didn't recognize the inherent flaw in that, because as much as I hate how everybody becomes very fucking tribalistic, and you have people that are just, they have this idea that like Democrats automatically equal good and Republicans automatically equal bad, and or fucking liberals are all a bunch of fucking pussies, and I don't know, fucking conservatives are all a bunch of fucking gun nuts, and as much as I find it fucking ridiculous how people will completely dismiss like facts or logic or whatever to get behind their fucking their chosen side or team, I realized that that everybody is susceptible to this. Now the only difference between, say, somebody that's like a diehard fucking Democrat Hillary Clinton fucking supporter and me as a progressive is that my focus is just 100% on what's the fucking truth? What are the fucking facts? What are this person's history? Yeah, like I don't give a shit, what letter of the fucking alphabet they have next to their name. I don't fucking subscribe to this idea that Democrats are good and and all Republicans are bad. It's all fucking horseshit, right? But I do find that, that I have a tendency, like anybody else, to really only sort of get in, not so much in an echo chamber, but you definitely, because I have people that I follow and that follow me that, we completely disagree on fucking politics and policy and all of that shit. But because I am one of these people, like, I want to hear what others are thinking, what they have to fucking say. That way I can kind of get a gauge of what I'm up against, right? God, this is why I'm telling, like, are these is what I'm saying interesting at all? I'm getting fucking bored with it. Let me just get through this shit. So I don't know, I was using the excuse that you need to have fucking access to these things, to the social media, to the websites, whatever, in order to make an informed decision, right, about who to fucking vote for. And I don't know, I was reading a fucking book, or I actually am reading a fucking book, another book. I'm always fucking reading. I actually just finished this book called Pimp, which is about Iceberg Slim. It's a very interesting fucking, it's an interesting book, but not relevant to what I'm fucking talking about. And, and if you like interesting fucking, if you like a perspective of the sort of pimp game or whatever, if you want a perspective from somebody that was fucking actually a part of it, that, definitely regrets the things that he's done, I highly recommend that you fucking read the book. It's fucking fascinating. But I finished that, so I'm now reading this book called Pity the Billionaire, right, which is by Thomas Frank, and I highly, highly fucking recommend that that you read it. It doesn't matter if you're a fucking Democrat or a Republican or a liberal or a conservative or right wing or left wing, whatever. I highly recommend you fucking read it, because it will open your eyes to a lot of shit, but it'll also fucking piss you to fuck off to see what has fucking happened in this country and how we've gone from sort of being concerned about one another to the point where we're basically just saying, fuck each other and we don't care. I don't know. I don't want to give away what the book is about. I just say I recommend you fucking you read it. It's called Pity the Billionaire. But I'm reading that and I'm getting fucking livid, because it's one of those books that are like, fuck, man, I cannot believe this shit is going on. I can't believe people fucking have bought into this bullshit and yada yada yada, right? And I started thinking, I'm like, when I'm like when I decide to fucking vote, do I really need social media? Do I need media in any form in order to really make a decision about who I should fucking vote for, right? And I started thinking, like, well, if do you really need all like the fucking commercials and the campaign? Do you really need all that shit to really make a good fucking decision? I mean, can't you just look at where a person stands on the fucking issues on the, you know, as far as policy? Can't you just make a decision there where it's like, all right, this person, you know, is saying all the things that, you know, or is behind all of the things that I fucking feel strongly about. So, you know, maybe they were good shit. Now, of course, there is the little fucking nuance of somebody that's saying, you know, like some of the fucking buzzwords, but in reality, you know, if you don't do some research on them, you know, you could be like, all right, you know, you vote for a fucking snake when you thought you were voting for a fucking lamb. You know what I mean? So, I understand that part of it, but as far as like social media is concerned, it's like, do I really need the fucking, like, is that really a legitimate fucking source of information? You know, because I mean, obviously you're you know, no matter what side of the fucking aisle you fall on, you're definitely going to get some bias. Right? It's next to impossible to go completely bias free when it comes to things like this, right? Because obviously, like for me, if I'm a progressive, naturally I'm gonna gravitate towards other progressives, right? And if you're you know, if you're a liberal or a Democrat, then naturally you're gonna gravitate to that direction. Or if you're a Republican or conservative, you're gonna gravitate to people that are more, you know, that carry the same fucking worldview as you. It's inevitable. There's nobody out there that's completely unfucking biased. But as far as, like, is social media a fucking necessary thing? You know, I have to say at this point, no. It fucking isn't. I can't find any real legitimate reason to continue fucking being a part of that. You know? Yeah, I interact with every single one of the people that follow me. You know, I am one of the few fucking people. Of course, I only have, you know, like 74, 73 fucking followers, so it definitely makes it easier to do so. But I am one of those rare fucking people that actually interacts with the people that follow me, right? You know, I don't just like, oh, thanks for the follow. You know, like, it's never just about like, oh, how many followers do I have? Or it's never been, at least for me, it's never been about how many followers can I get. You know, a lot of these people out there with like thousands and, you know, tens of thousands of fucking followers, they, you know, they're not directly communicating with these people. And I get it that it's almost, you know, it's almost impossible to directly communicate with, you know, tens of thousands of fucking people. I get that. But to pretend like, you know, like you're invested in those fucking followers, especially the people that will have like tens of thousands of fucking followers, but they only follow like a few hundred people. You know, it's already obvious that, you know, you're not interacting with your listeners in any way. You know, maybe you fucking send out a tweet, you know, or something, and, you know, it's really just based on, you know, how many likes can you get, or how many fucking retweets or responses or whatever the fuck the case may be. You know, I'm one of those people that I actually try to fucking interact with everybody. You know, if they post something, I try to comment. You know, I try to find some middle ground if they say something I don't quite agree with or whatever. I do my best, right? But I'm not gonna pretend like you know, like I'm friends, like real friends. Like if I saw these people on the street, that I would be like, oh hey, you're so and so, and, you know, let's go have a fucking beer. You know, it's not real, right? I mean, Facebook, when it came out, that, you know, it was sort of like, oh, meet your, you know, fucking reconnect with people that you knew before that maybe you lost fucking connection to. You know, it started out to be like that, where it was legitimate, like, okay, these are your fucking friends. But then it morphed into, you know, how many fucking friends do you have? You know, and to the point where, you know, where even people that in, you know, in fucking school that you used to call a fucking cunt, suddenly now you're trying to fucking, you know, earn their fucking friend request on fucking Facebook, knowing that, you know, you never fucking hung out with them then. You're not gonna hang out with them now. You know, it's all a fucking bunch of bullshit. And plus, with it coming out that Facebook fucking violated people's security, and and to assume that that same shit isn't happening in other fucking social media, it's absurd, right? So, I think I'm gonna shut my fucking Twitter account down, to be honest. I mean, even the thought of it gives me a little bit of fucking anxiety, because it's like, you get used to a certain thing, and to feel like, oh, I'm suddenly just going to disconnect from all that. It gives me a little, it does give me a little bit of fucking anxiety, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, is it really doing any good for me? Right? I mean, yeah, it is where I post my fucking podcast and shit, but, I mean, is my podcast not going to be able to be found if it's not on fucking Twitter? I mean, it's not fucking, it's not even a super successful podcast as it is, I mean, I know people are fucking listening, and I've said before that, it doesn't make any sense to me that people listen, but they don't fucking subscribe or whatever, but, whatever, I don't know, everybody, I don't know if you're considering, like, or if you treat, like, listening to podcasts as though it's some sort of, like, lifelong commitment, that if you subscribe, that somehow you're now responsible for, I don't know how you're viewing shit. To me, it's like, well, if you enjoy what you're fucking hearing, then why not subscribe, right? But, this isn't like me pandering, right? If you want to subscribe. If you don't want to fucking subscribe, it's on you too. I don't give a fuck. But I think I have to at least get away from fucking Twitter. I'm on Instagram too. But what I find myself doing on Instagram is talking a lot of shit. Kind of the same thing I do on Twitter, but it's not really politically or political. It's a lot of fucking world star posts that just like like this fucking what's the fucking guy? He's like, he reminds me of like fucking Justin Bieber. He has like the fucking like rainbow fucking colored hair. He's got like those fucking he's got these fucking teeth, right? Those the fucking, what do they call them? The grills. Is that what they fucking call them? It reminds me of those fucking those vampire teeth you used to get as a kid, like around Halloween time, where you put them in your mouth, and they, it looks like you got fucking vampire teeth. Well, like his teeth remind me of that, like the fucking grills or fronts or whatever the fuck you call them nowadays. Where and they're all like fucking like Skittle looking fucking colors and shit. It's just absolutely ridiculous, right? And I find myself, what the fuck is that guy's name? It's like an Asian name, but he's not Asian. I think he's like Puerto Rican or some shit. What the fuck is his name? Like Tekashi, right? Tekashi 69 or some fucking shit. Like I find myself just constantly shitting on the guy, because he's so over the top and ridiculous, and I cannot believe that people take him serious, right? Because he is really, I mean, he looks like fucking Justin Bieber to me, But I find myself on Instagram just constantly talking shit to people, and I'm like, it's fun, especially when I get like fucking people liking or laughing at the shit that I say, because I try to be a fucking clown, but it's like, dude, why am I expending so much energy on this fucking bullshit, So I don't know, it's a fucking rough decision, I want to be done. I want to get rid of my fucking Twitter account. It might take me a little while to really fucking pull the plug, but, I think I'm getting there. I think I'm pretty fucking close. But we'll see what fucking happens. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. It's already, 36, almost 37 minutes, almost 40 fucking minutes in. I don't feel like any of this has been funny at all. So yeah, so I'm gonna fucking end it here. My apologies that I know this is the one and only fucking podcast that I have released this week. It's been a fucking hectic week. I've had, I got work and all this shit going on. I always have fucking time for this, but for those of you that are new to the podcast, First of all, they're not all this fucking heavy. You know, I like to fucking, you know, usually I try to have some fun. But, you know, I don't know. Every now and then you gotta have like a fucking serious moment. And, you know, if this happens to be, you know, your first fucking exposure to this podcast, you know, don't judge it based on this. You know, listen to my previous podcast. You'll get a sense of really just how fucking how much of a fucking idiot I am, you know. But if you are new, welcome. I do usually release, you know, like 2 podcasts a week. Occasionally I'll give you a, you know, a third or a fourth depending on my schedule, but you know, I do one of these at least twice a week, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but again, it's just really based on fucking what my schedule is like. So but yeah, so I apologize that this is the one and only podcast this week to my regular listeners, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, so it's fucking Friday. I hope you've had a good week. Unless of course you're one of these people that has to work on the fucking weekend. And then, you know, it fucking sucks for you, but you know, for those of you that at, you know, when the fucking the alarm rings at fucking 5 o'clock that you're done, you know, I hope you had a good week. I hope you fucking had or you're gonna have a good weekend. I don't know. I don't even know what to fucking say. All right, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. You know, just like always, don't take any shit and go fuck yourself. All right, peace.